Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
WMAL.
8:07 now. It's our fourth hour here on a very busy Monday morning, coming off of that crazy snowstorm here in the District of Columbia and environs. Oh, heck, Mid-Atlantic. Heck, the entire East Coast. Heck, half the nation, for crying out loud, got hit with a snowstorm. Looking at our friends down south, we are actually looking pretty good right now. I don't think they're used to this sort of thing in Tennessee, Cassie Smedley, as they've got like 250,000 homes without power right now. That ain't good.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I was just looking at a post from Clay Travis of all the downed trees. And
Yes.
it's going to be a minute before they're back to normal.
Well, listen, the jury's still out on the downed trees here in our area, in Virginia and Maryland. That's sort of where you're going to have to hold your breath here, and hopefully the power will sustain. I know there are some parts of Virginia without power, but nothing compared to what it could be. And we'll stay on it with traffic and weather every 10 minutes and the weather forecast as well. Joining us right now, though, as we get back to business, is a friend of the program, ERIKA DONALDS, a champion of school choice and education reform. And, by the way, ERIKA, it's been said you could very well be the next first lady of the Sunshine State of Florida, since your hubby there is now throwing his hat in the ring. Good to talk with you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me on this first day of National School Choice Week.
Yes, and we love it because I was a homeschooler. Our executive producer is a homeschooler. Bethany Mandel, who is co-hosting this week, homeschools. We love homeschooling as one of those choices, but school choice goes well beyond just homeschooling. It's about basically empowering parents, doesn't it?
It is, and what we're calling it now in the overall movement is education freedom, like giving parents the ability to make choices about their children's education, what values are going to be taught, what type of curriculum is going to be taught, and when and where, to your point about homeschooling, and making sure they have the funds and the capability to make those choices. That's what School Choice Week is all about, empowering parents, like you said.
I thought in the post-COVID era that there would be a resurgence in this sort of thing, and the parents would start to demand that after what was done to kids, keeping them from school, making them, try to learn on a laptop. And then when parents actually saw how teachers conducted themselves, and there are some good ones and bad ones, but seeing exactly what the curriculum was firsthand there, as they were watching over the shoulder of their child on their laptop during COVID. Has that come through? Have you seen a big resurgence in interest in this?
Oh, absolutely. Let's start with the polling, where now over 70% of Americans believe that parents should be able to choose how their children are educated.
Did we lose?
And the ability.
You're having some spotty connection trouble there, Ms. Donalds. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Right.
Let me see if I can get to a better spot. But you're absolutely right about that. The polling shows that over 70% now of Americans support parents' ability to make these choices for their kids. And then look at the growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Once
Universal.
Again, I don't know. So here's what I do. Sometimes I like walk back and forth when I'm doing a radio interview, and that's when you lose signal. So Mrs. Donalds, if you can just stand in one place, then we'll stay with you. Got it?
Sure. Is this better?
That's
Sorry.
good.
There we go.
Go ahead, Cassie. Now, Cassie's oldest is about to venture into school. And schools. So go ahead, Cassie. What do you need to know about school
And
choice?
we're having this exact conversation in our house. I went to our neighborhood Catholic school. And actually, my mom was a big advocate in Missouri for school choice, even though, hey, pay the taxes and send our kids to private school. But one thing that I love and that I think you're really interested in is the tax credits, the Federal Education Tax Credit Scholarship Program. And I'm so glad to hear Republicans owning this issue in this way to help parents see that there is a benefit, because not everybody can afford to make the choice. Sometimes you just go with whatever's in your zip code.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot about that this week. In fact, perhaps some news from the White House as well, celebrating the governors that have opted into the federal tax credit, which was passed in the One Big Beautiful Bill, which could be the largest expansion of school choice in the history of this country, giving a dollar-for-dollar tax credit deduction for every federal taxpayer that pays over $1,700. They can directly reduce the amount they pay to the federal government, and instead that money can be used to fund private school scholarship, homeschool expenses, online courses, dual enrollment, certifications, all kinds of expenses. And this is what parents are looking for. I was trying to say earlier when I was losing connection that over 70% of Americans want parents to have these options. That includes almost 70% of Democrats and independents as well.
That's huge.
Wow.
That's huge. We're speaking with ERIKA Donalds. This is School Choice Week. And what do you say to critics or even people on the conservative side of the aisle who say, yeah, it sounds great, but I don't want the government to have any say whatsoever because those tax credits, those vouchers, all that other stuff, eventually those will translate into the government at some levels trying to dictate what that curriculum needs to be at the parochial school, at the Christian school, at the Jewish school, or what have you. How do you respond to that concern?
It's a valid concern and something we've always kept in mind as we're crafting policy to ensure that no parent is required to participate in these programs and no schools are required to participate in these programs, so that Americans still have the option to go to schools or for parents to homeschool and not take any government funds and to be completely free to educate their children how they choose. But these scholarships are a way to scale education freedom to the masses, to the families across our country who do not have access to a high-quality teacher or a well-performing school or a school that aligns with their values. This gives them the agency to be able to do that and welcomes more providers into the space, which helps the free market competition really work in education, which we have never seen.
And can you talk a little bit more about that? Because anti-school choice people will often say, aka the teachers' unions, that if you do school choice, then basically everyone's going to flee the school, and then you're going to end up with the kids who can't make a choice or their parents, can't choose to go to another school or afford to. Then they're left behind in a failing school.
By the way, what an incredible admission of failure that is.
Yes.
That if you give parents a choice, nobody will go to our schools.
Right.
Everyone will leave.
But
you
hear it.
Go ahead. You do. Miami-Dade County is a great test case for this because it is one of the largest school districts in the country, the fourth largest. It's a very urban, low-income, high minority, and English as a second language. However, 75% of students in Miami-Dade School District are attending a school that is not their zone school. That means those parents chose a school that they were not assigned to, whether that's a magnet school, a charter school, or a private school. And that tells us, 10 to 15% beyond that probably chose the school they're zoned to. So you're talking 85, 90% of parents that will actually make a decision actively for their child. Imagine if every single district was like that, where parents could make that choice and have ownership of that choice to ensure their children get the best education possible.
ERIKA Donalds with America First Policy Institute. She's the chair of the education policy initiatives there and does a great job for chair of education opportunity specifically and promotes school choice and other education options for parents. You're a real advocate there, ERIKA. And I got it real fast. We know your husband, Byron Donalds, congressman from Florida, and he's running for governor, but he's from New York. If you're dealing with snow, I don't know if you have a place here in Washington when he's in session, but is he out there shoveling the snow? He's a big dude. He should be able to do that.
He should. We don't keep a permanent place in Washington, D.C. We don't want to be part of the swamp. The only swamp we want to be a part of is the Florida Everglades, which we live right next to down here in Naples, Florida.
That's a good answer.
I try to spend as much time down here in Southwest Florida, a.k.a. paradise, as possible. But you guys, good luck to you up there in that snowstorm.
You don't have to laugh about it. You don't have to
today.
mock us to our face. Listen, at least I was like, it's true. I'm going to have to go out there in 10-degree weather and deal with the snow, but I will not get chased by an alligator. Can you say the same thing?
No, I actually can't, but I'll take my beach and sunsets over your snowstorms any day.
All right. Give the congressman our best. We'll take care.